we've got the first quarter images for Patoranger and Lupinranger, and we've got 2 new images for Build that I wanted to go over with you guys. Let's get to it. The first image here is just a poster for the series, but I think it's still worth commenting on. If you didn't see my thoughts on the first image, I prefer the Lupin suits, but they both look like pretty cool suits. The translated text at the bottom says that the story will follow the 2 Sentai teams trying to stop the gang fu with the Lupin collection. I get the feeling that the 2 teams will be working together from this, but I hope that's not true for a good while because I want to have them oppose each other early on. The show will debut next year on February 11th. So here's the full view of the first image we saw. There's not much for me to say now because we get more info on the stuff on the other images. But we get a clear view of the Lupinrangers. Lupin Red, Lupin Blue, Lupin Green, and the Patrangers. Patoran Ichigo, Patoran Nigo, and Patoran Sango. In this image, we can see the Morpher, which is called the Verse Changer. As we saw in the second image, the Zords are this year's gimmick. The Lupinranger's dial fighters plug into the side of the changer, and then you twist the dial and rotate it to the top. You do the opposite for the Patrangers. Plug in the trigger machine into the side of the changer, and then rotate to the bottom. That's pretty cool. The Zords themselves are pretty simplistic, and I was right to question how they would combine. The Good Striker can switch between its trigger machine and dial fighter modes to activate each team's respective final attacks in the Verse Changer, but it also forms the main body of both Megazords, Lupin Kaiser and Pato Kaiser. I think that's a very cool and interesting concept. I like the look of both Megazords here, but once again I think that the Lupin one is better. In the last image here, we see the Verse Changer again, and better looks at the red dial fighter, blue dial fighter, yellow dial fighter, and trigger machine number 1, number 2, and number 3. We also see the dial fighter Cyclone and trigger machine Biker for both respective teams. And the last thing you can see are the weapons for both teams. The sword/claw hybrid thing is the Lupin Sword, and the megaphone/baton hybrid is the Pat Mega Bow. Okay, now this build image came up as I was making this video for Lupinranger, but I really want to include this in this video because I think it just looks so cool. We have the full Rabbitrank full bottle that can bend and will take up both slots of the build driver. It's like a long stick, I guess. And it'll be used with the hazard trigger to create rabbit form or tank form, which I think is a pretty cool idea, and some people have already started fan moding these. They look completely different to those, which I think is kind of cool. They kind of expected people to do this maybe. The weapon that will go with this is the Full Bottle Buster, which has a cannon and blade mode, and you can plug in the full bottle, or you can plug in 4 full bottles at once. I think these both look pretty cool. The rabbit, and tank forms look really cool. I'm excited to see how those full suits will look if this is true. I like rabbit better just because I like red better. So those are my thoughts on the first quarter toys of Lupinranger and Patoranger and Build's new images. What are your thoughts on these new images, the show synopsises, and the new stuff for Build? Are you excited for Lupinranger and Patoranger's February 11th debut? Please let me know down below. And if you're new here, please subscribe for more Super Sentai and Kamen Rider videos. And I'll see you next time.